All right. Yay. Can you hear me good?
Yeah.
Yay. All right. So this is my weekly interview session. I don't know what my dog just did, but it was not a good sound. I don't know if that's the way to start it. Anyway, so I'm going to let you go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Sherry Shellenberger, 53 years old. What else you want to know?
Oh, I'm gonna ask you all kinds of stuff, girl.
Okay.
So for those that don't know, Sherry is my best friend. And I love her more than I can explain. So this interview is going to be a little difficult for me because I'm going to have to ask these questions a little differently. I'm going to ask them so that you can answer them since I already know the answers to most all of them. So I'm going to try to do this and let you talk instead of me doing all the talking. So
okay.
I'm just going to
I don't like to talk that much. I'm shy.
Girl, shut up. I am not playing with you. You stop.
Okay.
So let's just kind of start with your background, what you do in your daily life, just a little bit about you and who you are.
Okay. I am a certified surgical technologist, and I've also been a first assistant, both of those in orthopedic surgery. I've been doing that for 20 years. It'll be 21 years in December. I also do surgical missionary work in Mexico. I've been doing that since 2003, I believe. And I usually do it like 3 times a year, like summer, fall, and spring. But, since COVID and everything, haven't been able to go. And here and there, I've missed, I think I maybe have missed maybe a total of like 7 of those clinics out of all of those years. And that's just like for personal things that have happened in my life. I'm a mom of 4 children, 3 living and 1 angel baby. Well, he's an angel adult. And and I have 4 grandkids.
And for those that don't know, and most people wouldn't unless they know you personally, love the orange nails, and they're orange for Royce.
Yes.
Who is her angel adult.
A little J on there. Got to represent the hubby.
Look at you. So how and or when were you introduced to powerlifting?
I was introduced to powerlifting, I would have to say 3 years ago. And I was introduced to that through my husband. We were long distance. When we were in a long distance relationship, he's not my husband. But upon us meeting, finally, after talking for like 6 months long distance, we finally met in person. And I was just like, I'm gonna marry that man. But I went to I went to one of his powerlifting meets in, was it Austin?
Yes.
Was it the one in Austin?
Yeah,
And
yes, Mary Gaines.
And I was watching him in that meet. And honestly, the thing that did it for me was seeing him, but there was a girl there, a young lady that competed, and then she was a little bitty thing. You know her, Brittany Lynn.
I do.
And I saw that girl pull a deadlift, and I was just like, I'm doing that. I want to do that. And I've been in some kind of sport or something my whole life since I could be. And at the time I was doing bodybuilding training, and I was actually prepping for a bikini competition and struggling because I'm a tall, thick girl. My body is not made to be skinny. I'm not knocking anybody that's skinny. That's you. God bless you. I'm not built to be that way. And I was miserable because I was not hitting goals. And so when I went to that powerlifting meet and I saw that, I was like, wait a minute. I can be a thick girl and be strong and do that? I'm down. And so I told Jeff, I was like, I want to do this. And he was like, for real? And I'm like, yeah, I want to do it. He was like, all right. And that's how it started.
That's awesome. So And I actually made a mistake. So I said at 52 and I was wrong. So at 53, you've been competing now for a little over a year. Your first
Mhm.
meet was in July
Yes, in the bracket.
2020 in Nebraska. Yes. Your best squat is 460. Your best bench is 360, and your best deadlift right now is 424, which are amazing, amazing numbers.
Yeah.
As your best friend, when I see you, when somebody, that's not where I see your strength.
Yeah.
So, when you hear those numbers, or when someone says to you, wow, you're a really strong woman, what does I guess what does strength mean to you
Um,
on both levels?
well, it's funny because like on the um, I guess as a mental emotional level, I never really viewed myself as a strong person. Like people always tell me, "Oh my God, you're so strong, you're so strong." And for me, I'm just like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do or what I have to do. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like I have children,
Right.
and I am responsible for my children. And I want to leave a legacy for my grandkids. So when life happens and things happen, and I hear people say, "Oh man, I could have never done that." I couldn't have. Well, yes, you could. In
Right.
your mind, you can't visualize it now because it seems probably like one of the most traumatic things that any of us would ever go through. But when you know that you have people that are depending on you, there's no choice. Like you can't just curl up in a ball and and stop right there.
You don't get
So
to just quit.
yeah, you don't get to just quit. Physical strength for me means lifting as heavy as a weight as I possibly can without hurting myself. The numbers that you said, I can remember a time when I first started, and I had this paper that I got. I order clothes from this group that I found on Instagram. And when you order stuff from them, they send you these little kind of like affirmation things that you can do for yourself. So
Right.
one of the papers in there was like, my goal is. And so I was looking at them like, my goal for squats is to squat 200 pounds. My goal is to bench 200 pounds. My goal is to deadlift 200 pounds. But I wanted, or plus, and I wanted my overall total. I wanted to, for me, I want to be able to have an overall total of 1,000 pounds. And for me, that was unfathomable. I was like, that's a lot of weight. There's no way. I'm like, but that was my goal. And with my first meet, I surpassed that in my first meet. And it took me, and I didn't even realize I had done it. It took me a minute, and I was like, man, I'm strong. Just from that, because to me, that was strong. You know what I mean?
Right.
Physically.
Physically, right.
Yeah. I guess emotionally for me, strength would be um, going on even when you feel like you can't, or
Right.
even when you feel like, man, I can't, I don't know how much longer I can do this, but you go, because that's just what you have to do.
Um, so what was it like stepping onto the platform for you for the first time? Because
I,
the first time you stepped onto the platform, you put up a pretty big bench.
I was nervous as all get out. I remember when leading up to my turn to go just for my first, and I was a ball of nerves. Like I had butterflies in my stomach, my palms were sweating, I was shaking. In my head, I'm like, tighten up, put your shoulders back, lock your arms, don't come down too far, swing your elbows. I was like saying all that, and I'm like, I'm not gonna remember all that stuff. So I was extremely nervous, and I was afraid to fail. Like not, and now that I look back on it, I'm like, there's really no failing, because as long as you attempt and you try, you're not failing. But in my mind, I'm like, if I miss a lift, I failed. And that
Right.
was what I was afraid of. And of course, it being my first lift and my husband being there, and he's, you know, my handler. I'm like, okay, you can't fail.
No, you can't fail though, because we were all right there. You were
Yeah.
gonna fail.
Oh yeah, I had the
Uh,
family with me, that's for sure.
That was a long drive too.
Ooh.
Girl, that was a long drive.
Y'all said something about my drive?
What did he say?
He said, y'all saying something about my driving?
No, your driving was great. Hey, I
No,
slept
girl,
while
do
he was
not tell,
driving.
don't be telling him bullshit. I mean, bull crap.
Well, I
Do
was
not
able
be
to
lying to
sleep.
him about his driving.
I was able to sleep while he was driving, so that says a lot, because you know,
What
and
she's
safely.
saying, what she's saying is she took a tranquilizer before we got on the road.
Hey, it's not really a tranquilizer if it's prescribed. I'm just saying. No, just
Well,
Every time I get in the
I'm just
car,
saying. I know how he drives. I have to ride with him.
I thought he drove. Well, the times that I was awake, he was doing a good job.
Oh, tranquilizer. Boy, put your hand down. What was your favorite meet that you've competed in so far, and why?
My favorite meet that I've competed in had to be the last Texas Takeover, the one that was in November. There's several reasons. Number one is because I got engaged.
I know.
Number two was because that's where I believe that's where I set that squat record.
You
And
did.
yeah, so for me, that was like epic for me to get engaged. Totally clueless. Y'all got me.
We did.
Y'all did good keeping that secret, boy.
Girl, I'm gonna tell you what, that was not an easy secret to keep. Okay, let me just tell you right now, that was a hard secret to keep because we don't have secrets.
Yes.
We don't have secrets. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, boy, why are you telling me this? Tell Barry. Don't tell me. Tell Barry. He can keep secrets. I got to keep this quiet for how long?
All y'all did. Let me tell you, even my kids, like nobody let on. And I even said one time, I was like, I wonder if he would propose at this. And I'm like, no, that would be nah. And my kids were like, no, mom, stop thinking about that stuff. You're going for the meet. You're gonna, you know, and I was also like a nervous wreck because I had taken a fall that week at work.
That's right.
And I
You
was
in
in
a
that, I was
boot.
in a boots. And so I was like, this meet's gonna suck. I'm not gonna do it. Like I was just a bunch of nerves. So yeah, that for me, that's my favorite meet. And it was for those two reasons.
Squat record in a boot, and then got engaged.
Yeah. And then,
I,
you know, it's funny here recently, another reason that that meet is one of my favorites. I sent Barry a message. I was looking at the footage of that. I just happened to be looking at it one day and I was looking at the deadlift that I did that day. And I'm looking and he, you know, he was a side judge and I'm watching him. I don't know why, but I was looking at him while I was pulling that deadlift. And man, he's watching me with intent. And as I'm pulling it and I'm feeling, okay, I'm getting it, he just gets this huge smile on his face and he's nodding. And I was like, I got all teary-eyed. I was like, oh my gosh. He's like totally celebrating that pull with me. Like, and so I sent him a message and I was like, you know, the best part of this video is seeing you behind me get that huge smile on your face as I completed that lift. And he was like, you fought hard for that lift. It was well deserved.
well, and I mean that's what we do. We're always in each other's corner. That is for sure.
Yeah.
We have the four of us have been through a lot.
Yeah.
In a very short period of time, and there's no doubt that we've got each other's back for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Awesome.
So when shortly after we came back from the Arnold, I know prior to that you were training alone and you were struggling a little bit training alone. It was you were having some difficulties with that. And so, you know, Barry and I came down to Houston and we went down and met with Tiny, and Tiny ended up being your coach for quite a while, actually.
Yeah.
Before you moved to Arizona,
Right.
before you went up and left me.
Oh.
Fine. It's fine.
I'm coming back to visit. I promise.
What was it like training with Tiny and that team? And what was your biggest takeaway from training with him?
Let me tell you, I can honestly say training with Tiny was a huge honor for me. Like, I had heard of him, but I didn't really know who Tiny was. Um, and then in talking with him, it's like we have so many like mutual friends, and the fact that he was exposed to someone that I went to school with, Anthony Clark, that, that was the
Right.
strongest man, and uh, I was floored. And then my first training session with them, with him and the team, I get in there and they're like pushing all this heavy weight, and I'm looking like I am in the wrong place because there's no way that I'm picking up any of that stuff that they're doing. And I remember I don't remember what we were training that day, but I just remember the first time I went to push weight and Tiny was like, well, what do you normally do? And I told him, and he was like, girl, put some weight on the bar. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, that is weight on the bar. And he and Chris, which is one of my other teammates, put this amount of weight on the bar. And I just remember looking at the bar, looking at both of them, and I was like, y'all have lost your damn minds. Like, I literally said that. I was like, I don't know who that's for, but that's not for me. And they were like, you're stronger than you think you are. They're like, you have not even begun to tap into your strength. And so I'm like, okay, I'll try. And they were like, no, you're gonna do it. And if I tell you that I did it, and it blew my mind that I could even pick up something like that. You know what I mean? And from that moment forward, Tiny and just the whole team, there's Chris and Bobby and Kara and everybody, we push each other, and they would not let me, if I'm like, that's just too much, I can't, y'all, they were like, stop it, you can do it, just encouraging and like, just do it. Stop saying you can't. How do you know you can't? You haven't even tried.
Right.
And he's like, do you trust me? He's like, I would never put weight on the bar to hurt you. He said, if I put weight on the bar, that's because I know that you can do it. He was like, even if you get it just one time, I know you can lift it. So for me, that was the beginning of me believing that I'm strong physically, that I have strength, that I can go above and beyond the limitations that I set on myself. The experience, like it totally changed me as a power lifter. It changed, again, like just how I view myself, how I view my own strength. And so now anytime I'm lifting, I'm like, if you give me, well, how many am I supposed to do? Oh, 10 to 12. Well, I'm going for the 12.
Right.
Well, how much weight do you want me to put on there? And he would say stuff like, I don't know, like the dumbbell curls. I'm like, how much weight? He's like, I don't know, start off with like 40. And I'm like, 40? And he's like, 40. Like, so I'm like, okay, 40. So it was, I can put it up there with one of the best experiences I've ever had. Like I hold a lot of respect for Tiny and for my teammates back home in Texas, and I'll always consider them like teammates and friends because
Right.
they just helped me like more than I can put into words.
Changed your
Totally
mindset.
Totally changed my mindset. Totally changed my mindset. It's one thing to have people that love you, tell you you're strong and you're this, and you're like, well, they love you, and of course they're being encouraging. But to have someone that doesn't really know you, but that's trusting the judgment of someone that does know you, like him trusting you and Barry's judgment of the person that I am, and be like, yeah, she would do good with y'all, to just come in and immediately look at me and say, oh no, she's got this, see something in me that I didn't see myself. It's
right.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience. I cherish that. Like I even messaged him and was like, when I come back to Texas to visit, like I want to go and work out with them just so that I can see everybody and hug everybody and just I don't know, want them to know how they've impacted me.
That's awesome. Who are some of your favorite power lifters, both male and female? And more importantly, I think, who inspires you in this sport?
Well, I honestly, I'll be honest with you, I don't really know a lot of people by name when I see them. I just know when I see them and my eyes get, and I don't even know if you would call them power lifters or what. It's just their sheer strength that impresses me. You know what I mean? Like, as far as males go, totally in awe of my husband. That's for number one, just because he was also an inspiration for me. And then there's TD Smash. That's all I know about it. Just watching him lift raw like freaking blows my mind. There's Trent, totally just.
Yeah, I mean, if you put weight on a bar, Trent's going to move it.
Right.
He don't even want to know what's on there. Just put weight on it. I'll move it.
Yeah, he's wow. Wow. As far as women go, I don't know her real name, but the one that the Queen Bee is what they call her.
Laura Phelps.
Yes, she's absolutely freaking amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely freaking amazing. And it's the other girl that I've seen. Is it Bekah Swanson?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like to me, I'm just like, and then again, I catch myself going, I'll never be that strong, but hey, it's a goal to shoot for.
Yes, you will.
They're amazing. Like they are amazing. And then there are some like the Olympic style powerlifters that I see. One of the girls, her name is I think they call her Coco. She's amazing. I watch her and I'm like, wow. And then there's a girl that I saw, everybody's been tagging me in her videos. She's most recently that just broke the deadlift raw record. She deadlifted like 636 pounds or something.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. I think I watched her video 12 times. And she pulled that. This was just recently. I don't know who it was. I can't remember her name, but it floored me. Like, and the way she pulled it, I'm like, she could have put some more weight on that bar because she made that look, it came up like butter.
I wonder if that was at Shauna's meet.
I'm not
on
sure.
September 11th.
I'm not sure. And so it's just, like I said, I see, sometimes I go into, I'll click on just powerlifting, women powerlifting, and then I just kind of dive face first into watching videos, not looking at people's names. I'm guilty as charged.
Oh yeah, me too, girl. Me too. So what do you do outside of the gym? I mean, obviously we know that you're in healthcare, but what else do you do? What do you like? What are your hobbies?
I mean, healthcare is kind of my thing. Like my mission work that's very dear to my heart. I haven't done it in a while, but I love boxing. I love everything about boxing. And I like to play pool and throw darts. Nobody wants to play pool with me, but that's.
Well, I mean, I would play pool with you, but you left Texas.
But I left and came to Arizona.
I mean, I got a whole Tiffany room up for you with your bed and everything.
That's okay. And don't let anybody sleep in my bed. So when I come
Well, that's your bed. That's your bed. Of course, now you're married, so you can't sleep in that bed. It's too small for the two of you.
It's funny you say that because Jeff and I joke all the time. Like when we're walking places together and we're side by side and we're holding hands, I'm like, I bet you people are looking at us and like, that's two big people. Like, it was just some big people, which is probably why when people walk by us, they're kind of looking like.
That's not what they say about me and Barry. They looking like, man, he gonna break that little girl. Especially since I've been sick. I'm like, he gonna break her in half.
And don't let the looks deceive you because you're still strong, girl.
Sure.
WRPF meet, it was Tamara Walcott.
The girl that broke the deadlift record, it was at a WRPF meet. Her name is Tamara Walcott. So I just want to give a shout out to her. So congrats on that. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
That's a badass lift.
So Barry just went and watched it to see who it was to find out. So I'll have to reach out to her and be like, hey, you want to do an interview?
It was amazing. I was just like, I'm telling you, she just grabbed that bar, girl, and just came up and locked it out, and she held it, and then she kind of put it down and looked around like, did I get that? And I'm like, oh yeah, you got that.
That's awesome.
It was awesome.
All right. What are some fun facts about you?
Fun facts about me. I know how to drive an 18-wheeler.
I did not know that. I didn't think there was going to be anything we talked about today that I didn't know, and I did not know that.
Yes, when I was younger, a lot younger, I dated a guy that was a truck driver, and he taught me how to drive. Like I would go with him on some of his trips, and I was like, man, I want to learn how to. So, and he was amazing at it. So he taught me how to drive big rigs.
See, get your CDL. You can move back to Texas and Barry can give you a job.
Well, I tell Jeff all the time, I'm like, once I finish nursing school and I do the things that I have in my entrepreneurial visions, it's like, I want to get an RV and and drive it. I want to learn how to fix all the little things on it, how to hook the hose up. Like I want to learn how to do all that stuff so that that'll come in handy.
There you go.
When I do that. Fun facts. I probably have held.
I'm not even going to tell you what Barry just said.
Oh Lord.
He said he could hook you up with some hose.
Not those hoes, Barry.
I can't with him right now. I knew this was going to be a hard interview with him in the room.
Barry is my entertainment.
Oh yeah, actually, he said you can get the RV and be a traveling nurse.
Yes, that's what we talked about, and just travel and hit some of these meets and do. Hey, baby.
Hey, look, this is just for you. I wore this shirt just for you today.
You and that. It's just the top half of the shirt.
No, Friends.
No,
because I know how much you love the show Friends. I love you.
I love you too. Let's see. What other fun facts? I was saying I've held probably all kinds of crazy odd jobs. I worked for a private investigator. Ooh. So I was one of those. You cheating on your husband, there's a pretty skirt to catch you. I mean, you cheating on your wife, I was the pretty skirt to catch you. Cheat.
Look at you. I'm learning all kinds of stuff.
He also taught me about skip tracing, about finding people when they skip out. Taught me these little things to do that you can find in anybody. So that's why I say, people don't know, messing with me, honey, I can find you. You don't want these problems. I've done, you name it. I've flipped burgers at Jack in the Box, made tacos. I've worked at a barbecue restaurant. I'm what do they say? A jack of all trades, master of none. But I am a master in the healthcare thing, though.
You're a Renaissance woman, Barry said.
Yeah, and I love the Renaissance Festival.
See, there you go.
That's my other fun fact about me. I love cosplay. I dress up for cosplay and Renaissance. I do all of that stuff. Yeah. So
other than the challenges that you faced training alone, are there any other challenges that you've really faced in powerlifting?
There's the discouragement for me. Like, I'm torn between wanting to be strong and realizing that more weight moves more weight.
Weight moves weight.
Right. And so for me, I can admit that I am challenged with body dysmorphia, and I recovered from having an eating disorder. So I had to break myself from the scale, because I'm one of those people. I had a scale in my bedroom, a scale in my bathroom, and a scale in my garage. I would get up first thing in the morning, strip down, and get on the scale to see how much I weighed to start the day. When I got off of work, I would come home and get on the scale to see how much weight I picked up during the day. When I got ready to go to bed at night, I would strip down again and get on. Like I was weighing myself constantly. And so now I'm just at this point where I'm like, I don't want to be, like I said, I don't want to be skinny. I just don't feel like my body is meant to be that. But I also want to be a strong, a lean strong.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I have like this number of what I want to weigh, where I'm comfortable, where like my back doesn't hurt. When I get past a certain weight, my back hurts and stuff like
Right.
that. So for me now, the struggle is getting my weight under control, but not losing strength.
The
Because
healthy, comfortable.
either one of those, if I get my weight under control, but I lose some strength, then I'm going to be upset. But if I'm strong, but the scale has big numbers on it, I'm going to be upset. So for me, that's where my struggle is with powerlifting right now, is I'm trying to find that healthy medium to where I'm at a healthy weight and I'm healthy, but I'm also not feeling like I'm not strong.
Right.
So those are my struggles with that, with powerlifting. And just also feeling like I feel stagnant right now with my numbers. Like I feel like, for a while there when I started, my numbers were going up and going up and going up and going up. Well, now I feel like I've plateaued. And I'm like, okay, I've done this before. Like my squat right now is 465. But I have squatted 555 before in training. But when I try to put that weight on me now, oh my gosh, it feels, and I'm like, this doesn't make sense to me. I've squatted this. Even if it was for one, I still did it. You know what I mean? I held the weight, I did it. The same thing with my bench press. I'm trying to master my shirt that I have, my Pharrell. But also, like, we're getting ready to do a meet, but they don't allow band shirts, so I have to use my poly shirt. So it's going back to that, and I'm like, so it's just, it's probably things that people are thinking that is not a struggle, but we all have our own things
For
that are
us as
important to us.
women,
Yeah,
the mental struggle is the worst, I think.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think getting past any of the mental struggles for women is probably the worst.
I said I'll meet you there. Yeah, I said I'll meet you there.
And we're, and I only have two more questions. So
no, good.
Okay. So what advice would you offer other women in the sport, just in general?
Well, my first thing is, don't let your age define your strength. First and foremost, your age doesn't define your strength. Second, is it's hard to train alone. It's not impossible, but once you get to bigger numbers, it's hard to train alone. So I would definitely try to find a team, or just even if it's just 3 people that you can train with, where you can all encourage each other and help each other out. Don't be hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up for the things that you feel like you can't do, because it's not that you can't, you're just not there yet. Yet being the operative word there. And have
advice.
And yeah, and have fun with it. Because when it's not fun anymore, then it's not fun anymore. You know what I mean? When it starts to feel like it's a job, because even now that I had, like I told you, the little struggles that I have, it's fun to me though. It's fun to me. So yeah.
How do you feel about the sport and its progression of female powerlifters right now?
I think the progression is great, because I can remember a time I didn't know a lot about powerlifting, but I didn't see a lot about women in powerlifting. You know what I mean? There wasn't just a lot out there.
Right.
And now I see a lot more with women powerlifting, and women hitting big numbers and doing great things. I mean, of course, you still got those people that think it's not feminine to do what we do, but
That's okay.
they just mad because we can lift more than them.
They just mad because their boyfriend's max is your warm up. That's all.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
So
right.
yeah, I appreciate the strides that powerlifting has made as far as women are concerned, and I'm definitely looking forward to it just getting bigger and better.
And what advice would you give to the younger lifters, both male and female? I mean, because you have Creed getting ready to do a meet. Creed is your stepson, and then you have a daughter as well. Bree isn't a lifter, but if she were to,
I would love for her to do that.
but if she were to want to, what advice would you give to the younger lifters?
Probably the same thing. Just definitely, it's not something that you want to do by yourself if you've never done it, especially as a young lifter. And a lot of young people think because they're young, they can push themselves in these crazy, weights and just doing.
Especially with these shirts now.
Yeah, I would say get to know your raw strength before you equip yourself with something that'll make you stronger. And again, just have fun with it. At the end of it all, for me, if you're not having fun with it, why are you doing it?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Is there anything else you want to add? Anything else you want to say, or anything we haven't talked about?
No. I do want to say, you and Barry are big, are a big part of me too in this powerlifting thing. Like, the people, of course, that I said that influenced me, but you and Barry just played a huge part in that. From, taking Jeff and I in, and at the very first meet when we met y'all, to the second meet and y'all came out and helped get those numbers for him for the Arnold to make sure we had a pound over just in case things didn't add up, to just sitting and eating and laughing and talking, and even on the more personal level, just being there and being an ear to listen and a shoulder to cry on. And I don't think I would have stuck around as long in powerlifting had it not been for you two, with the added encouragement that y'all gave. I think I probably would have just kind of been like, you know what, this is poop. But sorry, that's my dog Rosie's crying because everybody left. Rosie, stop.
But they left, Mama.
Yeah. So I just want to thank you guys for always just being encouraging and just being there no matter what. Like, I could call you no matter what time it is. And I know if you hear that phone go off, you're going to be like, okay, this is weird. She's calling me in the middle of the night. What the heck's going on? Or I can ask you about lifting wraps or a belt, or, hey, what does this do? Or do you think this is good? Like any of it. And Barry too, I appreciate how you guys go out of your way for us. Like y'all honor the friendship with us. And I hope you do the same thing in your time.
Always. I have no doubt that if something went sideways, if I ever needed anything, I know you're always there, and it means more than I could ever tell you. Through all of this stuff going on with me being sick and everything, you've kind of been my strength, because I can't lift, and that's been hard for me. When I'm better and when I can eat again, we're going to that little burger joint that we went to for the very first time in Midlothian. We're going to go have us a big old good juicy burger.
Yes, girl. Yeah, burger and fries.
Yeah.
Honey, I'm ready.
Well, I mean, we could go now. I just can't have one.
Yeah, you just can't have it.
I could probably have it, which is not for long.
We'll be seeing it again shortly.
It'll come back up. I just recorded that too. It's fine. Look, I put a disclaimer on there. This is going to be a personal interview.
Okay.
Like, this is my girl. So whatever, if you don't want to listen to it, it's okay. No, I really appreciate you doing this today. Thanks for sitting down with me, and I won't keep you any longer. I know you guys are ready to train and your team's going to be waiting on you. So I love you with
I
all
love you
of
too,
my
babe.
heart. And I so appreciate you doing this with me today.
I appreciate you thinking of me. Like it's an honor. You have no idea how I was like, y'all. I was telling everybody, guess what? I'm gonna be interviewed. And they're like, interviewed. I'm like, yeah, we're powerlifting. So I'm humbled that you thought of me, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate you.
Well, I appreciate you too, but you definitely deserve to be interviewed.
Thank you.
This isn't a charity. This isn't because you're my best friend. This isn't because you're my spirit human. This is because you have worked your ass off to get to where you are, and you deserve this interview. And I am honored that you took time away from your life, your family, your day to sit down with me and talk about it for a little bit.
Babe, I appreciate that.
And I appreciate you. So thank you. Go give it hell at the gym.
Getting in that poly shirt.
Uh,
I said I would never get back in that shirt. But I'm Creed's competing, and I'm like, I haven't done a meet in a while, and this one's close, and with everything else that's going on here with us, getting settled and paying bills and all that stuff. So
again.
no. Hey, but hopefully we can do Mary Gainesmas.
Is there still spots available?
I think.
Oh, that's right. You're on a waiting list.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see.
If not, then
I'm coming for a visit.
just make arrangements to be in Plano on April 2nd. So go ahead and put that on your calendar. Metroflex Plano, April 2nd.
Got it.
That's
All
your
right.
next meet.
Okay, got it.
I love you. Go work out. Thank you so much for your time today.
All right,
And
babe.
I'll talk to you soon.
All right, I love you too.
Bye.
Bye.